Welcome back to Fit and Well with FWA. I'm your host, Andrea Anderson, and let's dive into some wellness topics. So, as I've sort of shared before, I like to be inspired by the previous week to determine what I'm going to chat about with you on each podcast for the week. So I do these fresh. I do one every single week, and my hope is that something happens during the course of the week to inspire me to share something. And something that kept coming at me all week was related to confidence. So I have fitness clients that I work with. I work with high school students who are trying to gain entry into college and career programs. And the word confidence has just been all over the place for me lately. So I know it's a huge topic for you as well. When I've talked about confidence on the Fit with Andrea blog or when I post about it on Instagram, it's always one of the topics that gets the most likes or clicks or listens or follows or whatever has it. So we're all eager, it seems, to be more confident or to find more confidence or have more confidence. So I want to dive into that in our session this week. So I'm sort of calling this How to Be More Confident or Build Confidence. You pick one of those two. One of those two is going to be our title for the week. And each week on Instagram, I share a mantra. Every single Monday, I will post a mantra for the week. And this week's is also related to confidence. And the mantra for the week is there is always room for me at the table. There is always room for me at the table. And that goes hand in hand with confidence. I want you to declare that there is room for you. Does not matter what your industry is, does not matter what your professional or personal goals are, there is room for you. And you're gonna create it because it's not gonna be handed it to you. And one of the ways that you create it is by being more confident and having confidence in yourself and your abilities. Let's dive in. When I think about confidence, one of the ways to build confidence is to understand where it comes from and understand why we feel like we don't have it or why we don't have confidence. So let's start there. And I've kind of over time from my own personal experiences, from experiences of fitness clients, from working with high school and college students, I've sort of noticed three different themes when it comes to not having confidence or stopping somebody from feeling confident. And they boil down to these three things: expectation and beliefs, usually put on us by somebody else. We'll kind of pull that apart. Comparison and imposter syndrome. Now, I primarily work with females or those who identify as females in my fitness profession. So I feel like confidence comes up a lot more in those populations, but I've seen confidence and lack of confidence in males and those who identify as males and others. So it's prevalent everywhere. And I find it's those three themes that really stop us from feeling confident or having confidence. So let's unpack those. The first one being expectations or beliefs. And again, those are stories. Those are things that other people are telling us that we have sort of put into gospel, something that we just believe. Yes, that is the way that is. So it could be expectations like, I know a lot of my female clients will talk about expectations they have about their personal lives. So I was just talking with one about a week ago that said, and now I'm married, and everybody has this conversation with me of like, okay, married, check. What's next? It's like you can't ever celebrate the current moment. There's always something else that you're supposed to be chasing. So it's that belief or expectation that is created by other people that we've started to absorb into our own beliefs. I find that's a big one also around cultural norms. So I work with a lot of populations of students who the idea of bettering yourself is very frowned upon. It's like, well, we're at this level and we're doing fine. So why would you want to go to college? Why would you want to go get a certificate? We're doing just fine without those things. You don't need that either. So it's these societal norms and expectations, these cultural norms that are being absorbed into you, regardless of your own ideas or opinions. And again, those expectations and beliefs are usually placed on us by someone else. And the conflicting part often comes because they're individuals that you trust and go to for guidance or for mentorship or anything else. They are your people, the people that you feel safe with. And why wouldn't you believe what they're telling you? So having those expectations and beliefs and cultural norms keeps us from feeling confident in ourselves or makes us question if we're doing the right thing, even if we feel like it's good for us, but it's not good for the people around us. So that's a big one that keeps us from having confidence. Comparison. Oh, comparison. That's such a thief of joy. It's tough. I'll say this as a fitness professional, with anybody and their brother being able to post Fitspiration on Instagram, you sort of feel like you're competing with everybody. And those people might not have your certification or level of understanding or your ability to connect with clients, but dang, they got washboard abs. So clearly we should listen to what they're saying because they obviously know what they're doing, right? So I see that a lot in the fitness profession, that idea of comparison. Well, I don't look like that person, so I can't teach Pilates. Or I definitely personally felt that a lot when it came to yoga. And I love to take fitness classes when I'm traveling because it's just fun to be a student. It's fun to see other people's styles. It's fun to just check it out and unplug for a little bit. And I had signed up for this yoga class in Arizona, and there's this one move called Bird of Paradise that I love. It's a bind, and binds they're not accessible to all. Arm length, leg length, hip tightness, all of that kind of goes into it. So I don't want to go as far as to say it's an advanced move because I don't even know if that's a thing anymore in yoga. Advanced move is like meditation, okay? But it's a move that might not be accessible to lots of people. However, it is accessible to me. It's something I'm able to do. But the instructor, I'm doing air quotes if you're listening to this, I say teacher very vaguely because sometimes it's in certain places, it's easy to become a fitness instructor. It's difficult to keep it going. But this instructor came over to me as they were instructing Bird of Paradise and said, "It's okay. I know our body types don't allow for this." And I kind of looked at them and did the move and was like, why would you say that? Why would you sing? You don't even know me. You've never seen my practice before. You made an assumption about me, and that's crazy. So, it happens, and it's easy to see somebody in a fitness class and say, "Oh, I want to look like that. I want to be like that." But you have no idea how long they've been working out, how long they've been practicing, what's going on behind the scenes, their body chemistry, makeup. You have no idea. So why waste your time comparing when you just don't know? The only thing you can be sure of is yourself. You have no idea what other people have done or are doing, that maybe they're working with a private instructor 3 times a week and really getting to know their bodies and their movement patterns. You have no idea. So why compare? Why compare? And the third thing that stops us from being confident, and then we'll talk about how to be confident, is imposter syndrome. And that comes with the territory of adding success or being successful. I think once you find success in an area, you start to doubt yourself a little bit. Like, who am I to make these claims? Who am I to share that thesis? Who am I to have that answer? And the reason it's called imposter syndrome is because you are you are an authority on the matter, but for whatever reason you just don't feel like it. And I keep bringing up the fitness profession, but of course it's what I know best. I see a lot of fitness instructors, myself included, gather certifications like it's the end of the world. We just collect because we're worried that we are not good enough, that we need to learn more or have another certification before we even dip our toe into the pond of fitness classes. And that comes from a lack of confidence. So I'm not saying you shouldn't have certifications, you should. For whatever you're doing, as best as you can, the most you can absolutely learn, you should. But sometimes in a lot of situations, learning and living is your certification. A lot of my favorite minds, a lot of my favorite researchers don't have college degrees, and they know a ton about a ton because they've looked into it, they've lived it, they've talked to other people who are living it, they've researched it for a book, whatever it might be. So the paper certification is great, but there might be other ways to obtain that learning style, you know? So things that keep us from being confident, the expectations or beliefs put upon us, comparison, and imposter syndrome. So how do we move from this? How do we move from this to become more confident, or in spite of all of those things? Or how do we move away from those feelings of not being confident so that we can allow ourselves to live and glow in the success that we have built for ourselves? Ooh, that's a big question. That's a big question, but I've sort of put together 5 different ways that I've seen it be successful, 5 things that you can work on. And I believe confidence is this sliding scale. Even if you feel like you have so much confidence one day, that can go backwards depending on who you're around, what you're hearing, what you're being told, what you're seeing, what you're absorbing. It's a sliding scale. I feel like I'm a pretty confident person. Actually, I'll take that word away. I feel that I am a confident person. Are there things that make me question my confidence? Sure. Of course. I'm human. You're human. So even if you feel really particularly confident about one thing, there might be something else that you don't feel as confident about. So it's a process. It's something that we're learning. It's a practice. So we can always get better. So these are things that even if you feel really confident, there could be something at some point that comes along, an expectation, a belief, comparison, imposter syndrome, that pushes you back down to not having confidence or not having as much confidence. So here are my tips and tricks for continuing to practice building confidence and to find confidence, because you are amazing. Let's start there. You're amazing. You can do anything you want to do. So how do we help you stay in that lane and keep moving forward? Okay. The first one is physical. So right now, wherever you are, I want you to sit up nice and tall, back very, very straight. Maybe even sit back in a chair, sit up against a wall, your headboard, wherever you are, and pull your shoulders back. Pull your head back so your ears are over your shoulders and your shoulders are over your hips. Now, this might feel incredibly uncomfortable sitting up nice and tall because we don't do this. We are hunched over. right? Shoulders hunched over. That feels way more comfortable. But over time, it builds this stress around your neck, around your shoulders that causes headaches, fatigue, irritability, all of those things. How can we be confident if we don't first work on our posture? So ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips, sitting up nice and tall. This allows our eyes and our chin to be parallel to the ground. It lifts the heart up and open so we can be authentic and vulnerable and ready. If we're rounding, bringing everything in, we're guarded. And authenticity is the new confident. We're gonna get to that. So first, just that physical, sit up nice and tall, ears over shoulders, breathe a little here. This takes practice. If you are used to rounding, hunching over, it takes a lot of practice to pull those shoulders back, to sit up nice and tall, to be ready to go. So practice that physical movement. Immediately, once you get into that position, you'll start to have more energy. You're gonna, maybe feel a little more confident. Your presence is more noted when you improve your posture. So maybe you need to do things to continue to improve your posture. Little reminders just to, head up, chin up, shoulders back. Maybe you do yoga, maybe you come to bar, Pilates, maybe you do something where you are consistently working on improving your overall posture. So that's the first one, super, super physical. Number 2, we're gonna be so focused on ourselves and we're gonna take time to unfollow accounts that make us feel bad about ourselves. I'm talking Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram. I do not care if you're related to them. If you consistently look at someone's social media and you know what I mean, and immediately a name or a company came into your head when I said that, we're gonna go unfollow anything that makes us feel badly or less than. We're just gonna unfollow because it is not worth our time and our energy. We need to focus on us. The more we can focus on ourselves, the better our confidence overall is going to be. Focus on us. We're gonna unfollow. So we're immediately changing our physical posture, sitting up nice and tall. Number 2, we're focusing on us, on following those things that do not make us feel good, or those accounts where you find yourself constantly comparing what they have, what you don't have, what they are getting, what you're not getting. Unfollow, out of mind, get it out of the mind. Those are 2 immediate things that will help us see results when it comes to confidence. This next one can only happen after that posture is achieved and after you start focusing on yourself. Be vulnerable. Vulnerability is the new confident. 100% is happening. It's happening. Being authentic, allowing yourself to be exactly who you are, is going to improve your confidence. Because if you're going around trying to be somebody else, that's going to just trip you up and you're just not going to feel confident because you don't know what's next because it's not you. It has nothing to do with you. So allow yourself to be human. Allow yourself to make mistakes. Heck, allow yourself not to know the answer to something and say, wow, that's a great question. I'll get back to you on that. Allow yourself to be human. Allow yourself to be vulnerable. Open your heart a little bit and let some people in. That will definitely help on your path to becoming more confident. This next one I struggle with. I want it to be part of this list for being more confident. I think it has helped and it can help, but I could see it going in another direction too. Acquire new skills. When we allow ourselves to be a beginner at something and move from beginner to novice to intermediate to advanced, we're building our confidence with something over time. And the more things that we can get really, really good at, the more confidence you'll have. Now, I say I struggle with this because, again, in the fitness profession, and I'm sure this is true in other professions, it's very easy to get stuck in this loop of, I'm just gonna keep building skills until the end of time and not actually do the work. So Yes, go acquire new skills, but don't let that be the only thing that you're doing to work on your confidence. Allow yourself to also do the work and be not so great at it. Remember, we all have to start somewhere. You're going to be new, you're going to make mistakes. But go out and try something new. Be new at something. Allow yourself to go from complete beginner to pro in something, and that will help to build your confidence. Even if it's not necessarily related to your profession, take up a new hobby. Try something else. Try something outside your comfort zone. And this last one, this is a big one. Trust your values. So again, we had indicated that expectation and beliefs of others stop us from being and feeling confident. So this is a chance for you to write down what's important to you, to cross off the things that are not important to you and really focus on your own priorities and your gut feeling of how to make those things happen. So if, for example, just this is on my mind, if you really, really want to get more education and the people around you are like, you don't need that, maybe it's time to find a new group. It's time to align yourself with people who have similar values. Is that easy? Not always. Nope. It can be difficult to feel like you're leaving somebody behind. But think about all of the things that you are not allowing to happen by staying back, by allowing somebody else to hold you back. You can do amazing things, but only if you trust yourself, trust your gut, trust your values. A lot of heavy things. So the 5 ways to continue to practice and build confidence. Start with that physical movement of ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips. See if you can work on physically improving your posture. That's number 1. Focus on you. Start unfollowing things that just do not make you feel good. Unfollow those accounts. Hit unfollow, hit unlike, whatever you need to do to get them out of your mind, because they are not serving you and they're finding success and you're just watching it happen. Let's stop doing that. Let's stop. Number 3, be vulnerable. Allow yourself to be open. Number 4, acquire new skills. Allow yourself to be a beginner and move your way toward that pro status that will help you build confidence over time. And number 5, trust your values. Trust your gut. It's not steering you in the wrong direction. It's taking you down the path that you need to be. Whew, a lot of things. And again, confidence is a practice. It's building a skill. So it's going to take time over anything. It's going to take time. It's going to take practice. It's going to take messing up a little bit, but that's okay. You're human. You're allowed to make mistakes. But the biggest mistake is not allowing yourself to become and be who you really should be. So take those with you. Remind yourself that there is always a place for you at the table and that you can and do have confidence. And that's our episode for today. Thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to our chats every single week, and I will see you for the next one. Bye.